Let me first ask you, have you ever been hit in the head?
In 5 days, I received more information from one doctor than 10 doctors in 10 years. In this video, I'm going to share with you those results. Welcome back to the channel, Roy Ones. I feel amazing. Why? I'm alive, baby, I'm alive. So this video is important. It's important to me. I'm going to list the tests that I took and the results of those tests. But the main reason I'm creating this video is to allow y'all to see the options that's available to us, so that we can see that there are more tests than typically what we get. We have to literally go out the network sometimes to be able to get a different perspective. Because when we go from one doctor and ask to get a second opinion and stay in the same network, you're going to get the same opinion. We need to go outside the network, and sometimes that means spending some money out of pocket to be able to get results and insights that you never would have seen otherwise. So with that being said, let's get into the list. And I have my little book here. I'm serious for y'all today. I have my book because I'm going to make sure I talk about the test that I took. So let's start off with this. I took an autonomic nervous system test, which wound up being phenomenal. The doctor said I have phenomenal nerves. Oh, yeah. I took a vitamin C test, which was baffling because she took the test and said I'm on the verge of scurvy. I said, how is this possible? Baffling. How is this possible when I took 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C yesterday? She said, because vitamin C is water soluble. And that means you got to take it every day. And I didn't take it that day. So I was like, okay, which I knew. I talk about that on this channel all the time. So y'all should have the insight on that. But we literally got to take it every day. The other thing is testing my sweat glands. This was the first time I ever tested a sweat gland, right? Oh, like there's only one. First time I tested, she said, you don't have no problem sweating. And I was thinking to myself, people have problems sweating? And then I thought about an instance where I recommended somebody to go to a sauna and they said they didn't sweat. And I was like, what? How is that even possible? A friend of mine, we went and we were sweating like we was in the shower. So that kind of put some clarity on that. And now, of course, I'm happy that I sweat well. The other one was my arteries and the lining of my arteries. So she said, your arteries are like a garden hose. It's able to maneuver, it's soft, it's malleable. And the inner lining is very open, it's not clogged or anything. So I said, oh, that's a great example because your arteries are not supposed to be stiff like metal. That's when you run into problems. So her saying that made me feel really, really good. Then the other thing was, I do not have fatty liver, which I was like, yes! And she started laughing because I know fatty liver is a big issue right now. A lot of people are dealing with fatty issues. So no fatty liver issues. One of the main reasons I went there is for my heart. I wanted to check my heart because, as all of us know, all these things going on right now, people dropping all over the place. I didn't want to just do a standard EKG, which I did do, and they said there's nothing wrong with my heart. But I just felt uncomfortable with that kind of shallow testing. So I did another test, and with the heart, she came back and said, listen, your heart functions magnificently. You have a heart that beats like a horse. I was like, that's amazing. She said it's very, very, very strong. She said the odds of you having a heart attack or a stroke is like 10%. And I was very upset about that. And she started laughing. She said, why are you upset? I was like, 10%? That's a lot. She was like, no, it's not. You're very low on the scale. I was like, for me, I want to be minus 20. What's Tom Cruise's results? He's jumping out of planes all the time and jumping off cliffs. He's not at 10%. As an assumption, I don't know. But the other thing was I wanted to test for long-term COVID. long tail COVID. I wanted to test for that because I had COVID twice, and I wanted to make sure that there wasn't no crazy symptoms from that. And she said I didn't have any symptoms, none of the artery symptoms that people have, none of the heart symptoms that people have from long tail COVID, even a standing up test. She said some people, when they get up too quick, they will get dizzy. And I don't have that. She said you don't have none of that. So I was like, oof, good. So I didn't show no signs of long tail COVID. Another big reason I went is because I wanted to analyze my blood in a different level, which that's one of her specialties is blood. So she did a blood cell analysis. In the blood cell analysis, like I stated in the other videos that I did, that I had these structures, hydrogel, graphene hydrogel structures in my blood that were basically causing a flow issue, a circulation issue based on that, because my red blood cells were stagnant and clumped around it basically. And I was like, whoa, this is absolutely insane. The fact that that's just there. She said, but don't worry, through chelation therapy, you'll be able to remove these structures because they're mostly made from metals. So by doing that, you'll remove it and you'll have the flow like you was a kid, you know, just a natural flow, because you don't have no artery issues, you don't have no heart issues. The only problem you had is the structures that are clumping up your blood, which were made of some kind of metals and stuff like that, which is, because this is YouTube, I'm not going to get into it like that, but y'all have to do your research. She said most people have these structures in their body right now, and that is what's causing a lot of people to fall out, a lot of people to have a lot of circulations, heart attacks and strokes and stuff like that, which is mind-boggling. But let's move on from that. Because she did get rid of the structure. She said it, once you leave here, you will get rid of it through the chelation therapy, which removes the heavy metals. It worked perfectly. But I also have to have a regimen because these metals are everywhere. So if they're everywhere, you're eating them, you're drinking them, you're breathing them, you got to have a maintenance routine to constantly flush your system out, your bloodstream of these metals. And she gave me a strategy to follow. The other thing was the brain. The brain. She said, listen, there's a couple of things that happened to your brain. Have you ever had a traumatic brain injury? I was like, what? A traumatic brain injury? Have you ever had a concussion? I was like, no. Not that I'm aware of anyway. She said, you never got hit in the head? I said, I got hit in the head a lot when I was playing a lot of sports, but I never blacked out or anything. She was like, okay, well, from this result, she showed me the charts, what I'm gonna show y'all. It's, my brain has this blue space around it, right? And within it is a colorful, like rainbow effervescence type image there. She said that effervescence, that colorful joint is like your intuition. She said you're highly intuitive. She said you basically function from your intuition. And I was like, that's extremely accurate. I really, really do. She said, but you see all of this stuff around, all the blue area, that is inactive. I said, inactive. She said, yeah, it's not active. It's no activity there. I said, wow. And I was thinking, how long has this been like this? She said, well, basically, it's probably been there since you was a kid, since you don't remember having any kind of blackouts or heavy brain incidences. And I was like, okay, I don't. She was like, it's probably been there since you was a kid. She said, but one of the things that's happening is when you tell your brain to do something, sometimes you'll start and it'll fizzle out because your brain cells don't have the energy to follow through with it. And I said, oh my God. I said, I have been feeling that pretty much my whole life. It takes massive amounts of energy for me to do certain things. And I know it's not supposed to be like that for me. I felt like there's something not quite right. Now, all the doctors I went to, all the tests I went to, nobody told me that. she said the biggest part to that was, she said, the solution is simple because you don't have any structural damage to your brain. So all you have to do is raise the voltage of your cells in your brain to be able to get it to function properly. I was like, yes, because I feel like that was the missing component for me creating more of the life that I want to live. I've always felt like it's something that's a little tweaked. And so for me to tweak this and get it fired up, get my brain active the way I want, intuition plus the brain power, I feel like I'll be able to create a really magnificent life. Continue to create a magnificent life. So, some of the products that she recommended to raise the cell activity is humic and fulvic acid, gold, liquid gold, and also other nutrition, other basic nutrition, and keep your cells energized. I said, now this is good. C60 she recommended too, which I take that charcoal. I did a video on that because I felt the difference when I took it. So it's like all of these things I have to do and combine and do them for a while and then reevaluate, take these tests over, which I'm excited to do. Now, the reason I did this particular video is because I wanted to share with the royal family some of the tools that exist that we're not aware of that can radically help us improve our life. Because at this time, we have to literally be vigilant, take action, use our intuition. We have to do everything to stay healthy and to maybe even become healthy, because a lot of us aren't healthy to a certain extent. And during these times that we see all these announcements of new this coming out, new that coming out, food being tainted, water being tainted, we have to be our best advocate for ourselves. And there are a lot of tools right now. The dark forces are out here. We choose to ignore it, that's one thing. But we have a lot of tools out here that the light workers are using to help us and to get through these particular times and to make us healthier. It's up to us to take the responsibility to search and actually take the action to be able to get ourselves healthy. And don't get caught up in a particular network. Networks are good in terms of being in a particular program and doctor referrals, but we really have to go outside and maybe spend some money to be able to find out new information about ourselves that can change the trajectory of our health and our life. Talk to y'all soon.